The First World War may have ended, but the world was far from at peace. The 1920s and 1930s saw economic collapse, political instability, and growing resentment. From the ruins of World War I, new leaders emerged, leaders who promised to restore national pride, rebuild economies, and take revenge for past humiliations. What they created instead was a path straight to World War II. This is the story of the rise of fascism and how it set the world on course for another devastating conflict. After the war, Germany was in ruins. The Treaty of Versailles had left the country humiliated, stripped of its military power and drowning in economic debt. The German people were desperate. Then, in 1929, the Great Depression hit, making things even worse. Factories shut down, unemployment skyrocketed, and people were willing to listen to anyone who promised to fix their suffering. One of those people was Adolf Hitler. A former soldier in World War I, Hitler had been outraged by Germany's defeat. He joined the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazis, and quickly rose to power with fiery speeches blaming Germany's problems on the Treaty of Versailles, the AE government, and certain minority groups. By 1933, Hitler had become Chancellor of Germany. Within a year, he had transformed Germany into a dictatorship. But Hitler wasn't the only dictator rising to power. In Italy, a man named Benito Mussolini had taken control back in the 1920s. He created the first true fascist government, built on extreme nationalism, military strength, and the belief that democracy was weak. Italy, like Germany, felt cheated after World War I, and Mussolini promised to restore the Roman Empire by expanding Italy's power. Meanwhile, in Japan, military leaders took control of the government, believing that Japan needed to expand its empire to survive. In 1931, Japan invaded Manchuria, ignoring protests from the League of Nations. When no one stopped them, they realized they could take more. The world was watching these dictators rise, but no one did anything to stop them. Britain and France were still recovering from World War I, and the United States had isolated itself from world affairs. The League of Nations, meant to prevent war, was powerless. By the mid-1930s, Hitler had rebuilt Germany's military, directly violating the Treaty of Versailles. He marched troops into the Rhineland in 1936. In 1938, he annexed Austria, and in 1939, he demanded part of Czechoslovakia. Britain and France, desperate to avoid another war, gave in, hoping Hitler would be satisfied, but he wasn't. The rise of fascism had turned the world into a ticking time bomb. The leaders of Germany, Italy, and Japan were growing bolder, and soon their ambitions would ignite the deadliest conflict in human history. Could World War II have been prevented if the world had acted sooner? Let us know in the comments. And if you're following this journey through history, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, where we'll cover the final steps toward war and the invasion that set everything in motion. Thanks for watching.